Hello students, the second lecture in case of the course GPB 355, that is the plant genetic resources, its utilization and conservation. So plant genetic resources is nothing but these are the germplasm, or it is also called as a gene pool, or it will be also called as a genetic resources, genetic stock. So these are the different words which are used for plant genetic resources. So first one, we should know what is mean by the plant genetic resources or germplasm. So it is nothing but sum total of the genes in case of the crop species, that is called as a genetic resources or gene pool, or it is also considered as a whole library of the different alleles which are present in the species one. It is nothing but sum total of the hereditary material, all the alleles of various genes which are present in the crop species and its wild relatives one. So we can, it is also called as a gene pool, genetic stock, germplasm or genetic resources one. So importance of the that germplasm or gene pool is that is the, it is a basic material, and that basic material which is used by the plant breeder to carry out the breeding program. So which are the important features in case of the plant genetic resources or germplasm one? So it is nothing but that is the amount of the genetic variability or diversity which is available in case of crop species one. This germplasm consists of whether land races, modern cultivars, obsolete cultivars, breeding stocks, wild forms, or wild species of cultivated crops one. It is observed in case of both cultivated and wild species, or in case of the relatives of the that crop plants one. These germplasms we can collected from centers of diversity or centers of origin, gene banks, gene sanctuaries, farmers field markets and seed companies, and that will be a basic material which is used in case of the crop improvement program. So these germplasms can be collected from the various states in our country, that is called as the indigenous collection, or it will be exotic collection, that is the collection of the germplasm from the foreign countries one. So these are the important features of the germplasm or plant genetic resources one. Then important one, that is which are the different kinds of the germplasm. In third semester we can study this topic one, but it is a repetition one. So various forms are observed, that is the first one, land races, then advanced breeding lines, that will be the homozygous one, different breeding materials, absolute cultivars, wild forms of the cultivated species, modern cultivars, wild relatives and mutants one. So first one we can study, that is the land races. These land races are nothing but primitive cultivars or initial cultivars which are selected and cultivated by the farmers one. Many generations they can cultivate that particular variety. They can follow the selection process, and with the help of the selection, better plants are collected, harvested separately, and these can be grown year after year or generation after generation. So importance of the that land races, that is that they have high genetic variability or genetic diversity which is present one, and they having showing the resistance to the biotic and abiotic stress condition because of they having the broad genetic base and wider adaptability. So these land races are important in case of the breeding program one. That is the scientist N.I. Favela. He can observe first time, that is the land races in case of the rice crop one. So land races are nothing but the primitive cultivars which are selected and cultivated by the farmers for many generations with systematic breeding efforts one. Second, that is the type or kind will be advanced breeding lines or homozygous lines. These are the homozygous lines, and these are the pre-released plants which can be developed by the plant breeder with the help of the scientific breeding program. It is also called as advanced lines or cultures or the stocks one. And because of the scientific breeding program operation, they can be developed homozygous lines. Sometimes in case of the biotechnology, with the help of the biotechnology program, transgenic plants or mutant lines are also developed one. So these are lines are nothing but not ready for the release to the farmers one. They can be used for only combination or crossing purpose one. Then third one, that is the breeding materials which are available in case of the plant breeder. It is also that is the type of the germplasm, and this breeding material which is used in case of the crossing program. Then absolute cultivars. Absolute cultivars are nothing but the that varieties that is the improved varieties of recent past. They called as a absolute cultivars. Means that is these varieties developed by systematic breeding efforts, which are popular earlier one, but because of the that new races or new varieties, that popular varieties which are earlier, that can be replaced by the new varieties one. So they having the also peculiar characters one, but because of the introduction of the new varieties, these can be become the less popular today one. So absolute cultivars are nothing but the improved varieties of recent past. Then wild forms of cultivated species. Wild forms of the cultivated species are, it is nothing but that is the wild forms of cultivated species which is available in many crops one. They having showing the high degree of resistance to the biotic and abiotic stress condition, that is the pest and diseases and drought. Then salt tolerance one. In case of biotic, that is the pest and diseases, and in case of abiotic stress, that is the different condition, water stress condition, drought condition, salt tolerance conditions, which are utilized in case of the breeding program. So in case of the crossing program, it will be crossed with the cultivated species, and because of their extinction, that is the loss of the that wild forms of the cultivated species, it will be necessary to maintain the that particular species one, and which is used in case of crossing program. Then modern cultivars or advanced cultivars, that is the nowadays we can use the different varieties which are available in case of the market. These are called as the modern cultivars, or it is also called as the improved cultivars. They having high yield potential, they are uniform one, and they having the that is the yield performance uniformity, but sometimes these improved varieties they have showing the less adaptability and narrow genetic base one. So with the help of the crossing program with the land races, these characters we have to improve one in case of modern cultivars one. Then wild relatives. Wild relatives are nothing but these plants having the common ancestry with the that particular crops one. It is the characters of the that wild relative varieties which are similar to the that particular crop one. So this is also important source we have to use it in case of the evolution one or in case of breeding program, because they having the valuable characters or valuable genes showing the resistance to the biotic and abiotic stress condition. And last one, that is the mutants. That is the mutants are, that is the, with the help of the mutagenic breeding, we have to improve the one of the oligogenic defective character in case of any one variety. So whether we can go for the physical mutations or whether chemical mutations are used in case of the improvement in case of the oligogenic defect in case of the that particular popular variety one. So these are the various kinds of germplasm one. Then on the basis of that is the we can classify the gene pool or germplasm. That is the relationship based on the degree of relationship. Gene pool can be divided into the three one: primary gene pool, secondary gene pool, and tertiary gene pool. That is the Harlan and David given this classification. So primary gene pool, which is also called as a GP1, secondary gene pool, which is also called GP2, and tertiary GP3. So in case of primary gene pool, what is the major difference in between that three criteria? So in case of primary gene pool, intermating or intercrossing is easy, and that will be leads to the fertile hybrids. So in case of primary gene pool, crossing or intercrossing, intermating is easy one, and once the intercrossing or intermating is occur, production of the fertile hybrids is easily, or hybrids which is easily in case of the primary gene pool. So that will be the important one. In case of secondary gene pool, that is the genetic material that leads to the partially fertile hybrids on crossing with GP1. That is the when we can make a cross with that with the primary gene pool, we can observe the partially fertile or partially sterile hybrids one. So that will be not having the importance in case of crop breeding program. And third criteria, that is the tertiary gene pool, that is the GP3. it will be produce the sterile hybrids on crossing with the primary gene pool. So genetic material that leads to the production of the sterile hybrids on crossing with primary gene pool, which is called as a tertiary gene pool. So transfer of the genes from such material to the primary gene pool, which is the possible, and we can require that spatial technique one. So this is the classification on the basis of degree of relationship. Next point will be that is the types of seed collection. Once we can collect the collection of the germplasm is essential, and we can store that germplasm one. So three types of the collections we have to observe on the basis of use and duration of conservation. First type will be that is the base collection, active collection, and third one working collection. So base collection is a principal collection in which we can collect the germplasms, and it will be stored at -18 to 20 degrees centigrade with a moisture of 5 plus 1% moisture content. 5 plus 1 percent moisture content one. So and this will be regenerated, that is these germplasms which are used for only regeneration of the species one. So here it is a principal collection, that is the we can maintain that particular seeds up to the 80 to 100 years one. That is the storage will be important, that is called as a base collection. In case of active collection, here collection and storage of germplasms below 15 degrees centigrade with a seed moisture which is at 5% one. So it is of medium duration, that is the for the storage of 10 to 15 years we can collect the germplasm and store for only 10 to 15 years one, and it is utilized in breeding program. So these collections are used for evaluation, multiplication, and distribution of the dead germplasms to the various breeders one. And third criteria, it is the working collections. These are stored for the 3 to 5 years with a temperature of less than 15 degrees centigrade and moisture content below 10% moisture. So it will be maintained for the breeders by their own in case of the development of the different breeder, that is the breeding program one, in case of different varieties one. Then after that types of seed collection we can study which are the important germplasm activities. Six important germplasm activities are there. Explorations and collection, this is the first one. Second one, conservation. After the conservation, third one will be evaluation. Fourth one, documentation. Fifth one, multiplication and distribution. And sixth one, utilization. So in case of that six activities, first one, that is the explorations. So in case of exploration, that is these are nothing but trips which are conducted for the collection of the various types of the germplasm, or it is also called as a tapping of the genetic diversity from the various sources, and this tapping will be collected and it will be assembled at one place for the storage one. So importance of the data exploration will be we have to tap the different types of the genetic diversity from the different locations, and it will be stored at one place. It will be utilized in case of breeding program. And importance of the data explorations will be that is with the help of the data trips we have to avoid the loss of genetic diversity because of the genetic erosion one. So that will be the exploration and collection one. Then second one, that is the conservation. Conservation of the that germplasm which are collected, it is important one. So we can preserve or conserve the germplasm. In case of last third semester or in case of environmental science course, we can study the conservation of the germplasm. There are two types of the or two methods of the germplasm conservation or preservation: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In case of in situ conservation, we can run the conservation of germplasm under the natural habitat without creating the human interference. So by developing the natural parks, biosphere reserve, or gene sanctuary, conservation of the germplasms or various plants, we have to done one. So majorly NBPGR, that is the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, New Delhi, which is acting as a major institute to control all the activities of the conservation of the germplasm in case of the various states, in case of the India one. some national research centers are created for the maintenance of the germplasms or stocks in case of the various crops in that particular locality or season in case of various states one. So this is the in situ conservation. And second one, ex situ conservation means conservation of germplasm away from its natural habitat by creating that particularly whether the gene sanctuaries or that particular national parks. So in case of that ex situ conservation, we have to maintain the or preserve that genetic diversity of crop species at one place. Handling of germplasm, which is easy one, and it is a cheap method of germplasm conservation. So majorly when we have to conserve this that particular plant species in seeds, it will be the storage, which is the important one. Third one criteria, that is the evaluation. After that particular collection conservation, we can done the screening of the germplasm on the basis of morphological, genetical, economical, biochemical, physiological, pathological, and entomological attributes one. And once that particular germplasm which are found to be better one after the evaluation one, that will be uh, we can classify that germplasm, or we can test it that particular germplasm for evaluation, whether in case of in the field, in greenhouses, or in the laboratory. Then after that evaluation, we can compile the data, analyze the data, classify the data, storage, and dissemination of the information regarding that particular researches we have to done one. Then documentation will be done, and we can mention that particular numbers, and we can make a document regarding that particular availability of the various types of the germplasms in case of the different crops. Then fifth one, multiplication and distribution. In case of after that germplasms, we have to maintain, multiply it properly, and once the multiply, it will be distributed according to that particularly availability or requirement of that plant breeder, or it will be distributed to various types of the gene banks one. And once we can multiply it and distributed, it will be utilized by that particularly plant breeder according to their requirement. Whether the germplasm which are found to be better, it will be directly released as a variety, or whether it is usually in case of the hybridization program as a parent, or it will be also used for creation of the variation one. So these are the important 6 germplasm activities. Then some we can that is the organizations which are associated in case of germplasm collection, that is the IPGRI, International Plant Genetic Resources Institute, and in case of India, that is the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources. So IPGRI, it is also called as a IBPGR, that is the International Plant Genetic Research Institute, which is located at Rome 1. So while the germplasms are nothing but that is these are showing resistance character to biotic and abiotic stresses with more wider adaptability, and that is the having the broad genetic base one. Then one important term, that is the genetic erosion. So in case of genetic erosion, that is the loss of genetic diversity which is occur one of that particular species, some of the species which are lost one over a period of time one. So reduction in genetic diversity or loss of genetic diversity within that particular population of the species, and some of the genotypes which are lost one, that is called as a genetic erosion. So some of the important factors or major reasons of the genetic erosion will be, that is the first one, replacement of the land races with improved cultivators. Means some of the modern cultivators, in case of some of the modern cultivators, we have to use that particular different characters of the land races one. These modern cultivars are highly uniform, but they have narrow genetic base and narrow adaptability. So in case of the land races, the important characters are they are having wider adaptability and broad genetic base. These are utilized in case of the breeding program. And once we can utilize that particular characters from land races, some of the land races which are start to be reducing one. That is the genetic erosion may be occur one. The second important reason in case of genetic erosion, that is the modernization of agriculture. That is the modern agriculture improve crop management practices results into the elimination of wild and weedy forms of many crops one. and because of that loss of VD and wild forms, genetic erosion may be occur. Then extension of farming into wild habitats, that is the destruction of the wild relatives of the various crop species, also important reason for reduction of the genetic diversity. Then grazing into the wild habitats, means grazing of animal into the wild habitat, it is also responsible for loss of the wild species. Then some of the developmental activities, that is the hydroelectric projects, growth of towns, cities, roads, airports, industrial areas, also important factors for the loss of the genetic diversity, and it is resulted into the genetic erosion. Then in case of the that two terms are which are RRGs, that is the gene banks and cryopreservation. So gene banks are nothing but once we have to collect the germplasms, they can be conserved, and we can make that genetic resources available to the according to the requirement to the plant breeders one. So maintenance of this genetic identity of the various accessions or germplasms, that is the important objective of the gene banks. So gene banks established before 15 years to maintain the genetic diversity or crop diversity in case of the various locations. So different crops or different varieties or wild forms, we have to maintain one in case of the that gene banks one. So whether there are different types of the gene banks, that may be include whether according to the material, whether they are seed banks, field banks, in vitro banks, cryo banks, vegetable banks, DNA banks are the various types one. So important objective of the that collection of the that particular broad range of the plant genetic resources, maintain their conserve that particular plant genesis and availability of the that germplasms to the plant breeders and researchers. And last one, that is the cryopreservation, is also important terminology. Maintenance with the that is the maintenance and conservation of the genetic resources of the plant species one. So whether we can maintain that particular somatic embryo, cell lines, seeds, genetically transformed material one, and that maintenance which will be helpful for the depending upon that material, whether we can use the tissue culture procedures or different procedures maintenance according to that particular valuable parts one in case of the biotechnological approach one. So we have to avoid the risk in case of that particular that materials one, whether that risk may be arised by the genetic drift, cultivation practices, or mutation accumulation. These will be avoided in case of cryopreservation. So that is the important lecture one. Always question will be asked, that is the whether define germplasm or plant genetic resources or gene pool. Write down the various kinds or types of the germplasm, and whether the explain the method of germplasm conservation. So that is the second topic we have to cover: plant genetic resources, germplasm or gene pool, and their importance one. So that is the important one lecture. Question will be always asked for 4 marks, whether in case of descriptive type one. Okay, thank you.